Hi, this is Charlie, and today I'm going to do a video on using moving averages and the various ways that you can use them. Traditionally, moving averages are thought of as a lagging indicator because they plot an average based on the recent price behavior. And so therefore, if it's based on the last 10 days price behavior, for example, then it's going to obviously be a bit lagging as to where it is relative to price. And I always find it quite interesting when people say, oh, XYZ indicators lagging and everything else, and they really don't understand enough about indicators, really, because most indicators are lagging. There are a few which you can argue which are not lagging. For example, doing something like maybe Fibonacci, for example. It's still based on past price, but it's giving a projection as to where price might retrace to. So you could argue that there's things like that, but it doesn't really matter. And I think this is the whole point of trading. There are many different ways of trading and many different styles. You can trade with no indicators at all and just literally just look at price action, or you can use Fibonacci to pivots to whatever it might be. It really doesn't matter. It's about what suits you and how, if you can get whatever indicator it is for you to work. And if you can do that, because not all indicators will work for everybody, and that sounds weird, but of course everybody will have a different approach, and so therefore they may not get something to work. For example, if you just bought when an 8 moving average crossed a 21 period moving average, it's likely you would lose money. You could get lucky at some point and have like an 8 crossing the 21 here, and that's had a lovely run all the way up to over here before it's then retraced. And so of course when they do have their market starts to trend, then they're fantastic. But markets do also spend a lot of time chopping around, and when they're chopping around, the moving averages cross down, cross back up again, and if you were buying and selling based on every time a moving average crossed another moving average, you would just lose money. So most people don't do that. There's probably traders out there that do, and try it. But so what we can use moving averages as, or moving average crossovers even, they're still useful. Number one, we can use them as confirmations of what the price action is doing. So we can say, okay, yes, the 8's crossed the 21 like it has down here, and we can see that by the time the 8's crossed the 21, price is right up here. So it just confirms. It's a confirmation tool of what price is doing. And then we can then look for subsequent retracements to then maybe buy. And so this is the sorts of things that we can do. Moving averages can also be used as support and resistance. So as we can see through this zone up here, we can see during this period the 8 period moving average has acted as a support zone all the way through here, all the way through until it finally came down to the 20, and in fact it even went lower than that. And that's why you often use a number of moving averages, because what often happens is the price will then, once it breaks below a moving average, it might often retrace to the next one. On this occasion, this is my 50 period moving average down here. And so then we find support at the 50 and so on and so forth. So moving averages as support and resistance become really useful. So if I put a couple of other longer term moving averages on, we can see the green line is my 100 period moving average and the yellow line is my 200. And we can see at various times, the longer term moving average will come into play, price will retrace to them. So also price and moving averages act as a mean reversion tool. So what I mean by that is price, doesn't matter what the trend is, up or down, at some point or other it's going to do a retracement and mean revert to its average price. So if we have a 50 period moving average, at some point price is likely to come back down to that 50 period moving average, because it is an average after all, average of price, and price by its very nature likes to breathe in, breathe out. It will overshoot its average and it will undershoot its average, but generally speaking price will come back, mean revert back to the average. Now In the short term, it might mean revert down to its 8 period moving average, or its 21. In a medium term, at some point it will retrace, mean revert to its 50 period moving average. And then over slightly longer periods, we'll get those occasions when it will mean revert to its 100 or 200 period moving average, or even longer than that. Some people use longer term moving averages than that as well. So when it comes to something like using moving averages, it's well worth just taking on board what I've just sort of said here about the different ways you can use them. It's not just about two moving averages crossing one another. They can be used as support and resistance as well when they come in line with other things. Very often, when price comes down to its average price, it will bounce. So, giving you some food for thought there. But also, there are times when we can look at price mean reverting to a moving average as well. And so we can then, as traders, say, okay, how can I use this information? Can I use information in when price does retrace to a key moving average? Is that potentially a buying opportunity, like in this situation down here? Also, when price is moving towards a moving average, is it a potential trade, knowing that price is likely, once it starts moving towards that moving average, it's probably going to head for that to do that mean reversion? Can we capitalize on that as well? So we can use moving averages for entering positions. We can use moving averages for exiting positions as well, when using them as both support and resistance and as mean reversion tools. Now, this is just one indicator that I've decided to put on this week, and in other weeks I'll look at some others, but just some food for thought there on this Wednesday. I'm actually recording this Tuesday, but we'll probably put this out either later today or tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you on Friday for live trading.